What's up, Ginger Cornets? So I've been on a hunt lately for the weirdest Pokemon episodes, and trust me, there are some oddballs out there. Today I want to talk about a pretty insane Pokemon episode I'm sure some of you are familiar with, and that is Season 1, Episode 20, or Episode 19 if you're in the West, because, you know, banned episodes and all that. We'll get into that. The Ghost of Maiden's Peak. So I would consider this to be basically the first batshit insane Pokemon episode they ever aired, so I'm just gonna get straight into it, because you know what? That's what the episode does with its really odd cold open.
I'm waiting for you. Come back to me. Return to your beloved.
I'm waiting for you!
What the hell was that? So this episode is part of the summer arc that they randomly had in Season 1. It comes right after Beauty and the Beach and Tentacool and Tentacruel, both of which were banned at one point for very different reasons, I might add. But we see Ash and the gang going on a boat to a summer festival, and Brock is really depressed because summer is ending. And to be more specific, when Ash asks him about it, he says this.
Summer means bathing suits and girls to wear them. Now bikini season's over and I'll have to wait another year to meet a girl.
Old Pokemon was weird. But while the gang's excited for this summer festival, Brock sees this woman in a distance, and all of a sudden he has something completely different in mind, as Brock falls immediately in love with this mysterious woman, because it's Brock, of course he does. Also, Team Rocket's there, and they have an ingenious plan to make some money at this festival.
People spend a lot of money at these festivals, but they never pay attention, so they drop their change all over the place.
Meowth want a cotton candy.
But when James sees that woman, he ends up having the same reaction to Brock. And that's interesting because that's normal for Brock, not so normal for James though. But hey, they found a penny on the ground, they're making some money. And wow, this was totally not edited in by 4Kids to cover up the yen in the original. Also, there's an old lady who seems to know about the woman Brock can't stop simping over.
You're not that beautiful.
So it's revealed later that night that the woman Brock and James have been seeing died 2,000 years ago while waiting for her boyfriend to come back from war, and he never did. So she just stood there waiting until her body turned into stone, kind of like that one dog at Shibuya. So yeah, Brock is now in love with a rock, which when you consider the Pokemon he uses, is really weird. So Ash and Misty, being relatively normal functioning members of society, decide, hey, we don't want to spend the whole day staring at a rock, we're gonna go back to the Pokemon Center. And Brock's like, I'll catch up with you guys later. And then he never does. So the ghost of the maiden leads Brock and James to this small house and traps them inside there overnight. And the next morning, Ash, Misty, Jessie, and Meowth all end up finding them. And guess what? That old lady is back. So the old lady explains that any man who sees the maiden will immediately become possessed by her. So that's fun. And luckily, there's a solution.
We have stickers. These are anti-ghost stickers.
So these are actually a type of talisman called an Ofuda, but you know what? Anti-ghost stickers work. But of course the gang has to pay for them. I mean, come on, it's almost like it's a scam. Also, I mentioned how earlier in the episode they changed the 5 yen coin to a penny, but in this scene they just kind of leave all the yen unchanged. I guess 4Kids was like, screw it, no one will care anyway. But you know what? I care. So the gang sticks these anti-ghost stickers everywhere, but guess what? They don't work. It's almost like it was a scam. Also, I love how James desperately wants to be saved from this curse, but Brock is just totally chill with it. Luckily, Jessie has the solution, because when the maiden appears to try to take Brock and James with her, Jessie shoots her with a bazooka. Why does Jessie have a bazooka on her? Can we please explain this? But trust me, that's about to be the least weird thing that happens, because it turns out the maiden and the old lady were actually a Ghastly all along. This wasn't totally spoiled at the very beginning of the episode. Also, the Ghastly can talk. I don't think that's ever explained. But of course, it's Pokemon, so it is time for a battle. And Ghastly uses a mousetrap to beat Pikachu, a cat toy to distract Meowth, and a fire extinguisher to seemingly attempt to murder Charmander. But of course, when Jessie sends Ekans out, we get this.
A snake snatcher enemy is among us. Dinner time.
So So yeah, we all knew this was coming. Ghastly turns into this generic mongoose, and it just happens. They're just like, all right, it's a mongoose. I mean, early Pokemon would sometimes have real animals. Shout out to the one worm that Pidgeotto ate in like episode 3. But this almost looks like it could be a Pokemon, and that's what kind of weirds me out about it. Because I feel like if in like Gen whatever, they were like, new Pokemon, and its name was like Dumb Goose, and it was just this, I probably wouldn't even question it. Also, when James tries to use coughing, the ghastly mongoose says this.
Coughing, poison gas attack. Coughing!
Smoking is prohibited.
And the fact that they even reference that smoking exists in the Pokemon world feels really odd to me.
It's me. It's that stuff that I put up my nose. Not like that. No, it was a gas. I was breathing gas.
Hey.
Accidentally. I was accidentally
on the gassing.
But then Ash is like, okay, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, attack together, and Ghastly somehow turns into both Venusaur and Blastoise at once. They do the fusion dance, and they become what it calls Venustoise. You can't make this up. So this episode is just madness. And then Misty's like, here, I can save the day with a cross, because she apparently has the power of God and anime on her side. And I'm just like, how did they let this air? Like, okay, the whole joke is that she's acting like Ghastly is a vampire. She also brings like wooden stakes and garlic and all that other vampire killing stuff. But then Ghastly's like, I'm not a vampire. Do I seem like a vampire to you? But then the sun comes up and Ghastly's like, no, I hate the sun. And like, maybe it is a vampire. I don't know. And that's that. The curse is broken. Brock and James are back to normal.
I'm James from Team Rocket.
He's back.
But not to normal.
And then that's just it. Time to just enjoy the festival, I guess. We'll pretend that just didn't all happen. And later that night at the festival, we get to learn what Ghastly's true motives were behind all this.
I enjoy keeping alive all the old legends that people have forgotten over the years. And if I do a good job of it, I make a few bucks as well.
Money. The whole thing was just a scam. It was using the legend to scam people and make a quick buck. And it's like, it's a ghost, maybe a vamp. No, it's not. It's a ghost. What does it even need money for? Like, you could... What? This episode hurts my brain. And of course, Brock leaves us with some very profound and very strange parting words.
If only you were 2,000 years younger.
So I think the moral of this episode is that if someone you know is being a simp, you should scam them out of all of their money because they probably deserve it. Alright, that's enough of this episode for one day. If there's any other episodes that I should take a look at, I am open to all suggestions. I plan to look at Holy Matrimony at some point because that episode also broke me. But I hope you have a fantastic day. Remember to like and subscribe. If I don't say that, I go to hell. And I will see you later, Gator Taters.
No one would ever steal it from me, not even Team Rocket. I'll fight them to keep her safe.
James, you're insane. Why would we steal a thing like that?